We're all set.
Okay, good afternoon, folks. We are here at our agenda review. And so at this time, we're going to turn it over to our staff to lead us in our agenda review. Thank you.
Okay. For Finance Committee, we are starting with introductory 350 Financial Empowerment Center Initiative Agreement between Empire Justice Center and a budget amendment. Any questions? No questions? Okay.
I do have, I'm sorry, I do have a question. I don't really get, what are the, I mean, it's a child tax credit, so that should have something to do with their tax returns. Is Empire Justice Center helping with tax returns or?
Empire Justice Center does work through with taxes with the cash initiative. Josanne, if you know the abbreviation, I can't remember what it stands for.
I don't, but you're correct.
And they help, I actually volunteered with them before, so they help people do their taxes, and part of that is getting the child tax credit.
Right, so aren't we, do they already have funding to do the tax returns for this year? And if not, or if so, is this 15,000 gonna be included in that? Because if they're gonna I'm sorry, go ahead.
When you say they, who do you mean?
Empire Justice Center. I'm just saying, if they're gonna be doing the tax returns anyways, why are we paying $15,000 now to talk about things that aren't gonna come up until taxes are gonna be done?
I see what, so you mean because it's through December 2021? Okay.
Right.
I can jump in. I believe, my understanding of this is that the education is around the monthly payments through December. So I think you should ask the question, but I know that it's related to those monthly payments that people are getting now. It started in July and goes through the end of December.
Right, I certainly get that. I just don't understand what just talk about when you get your taxes done. I guess it should be like, hey, you got this money, you know what I mean? Extra $15,000 on top of them getting money to do taxes from us next year.
I do think that people are able to get it now that, like, say you had a baby after this happened, you're able to get it, and they're trying to advertise that to people as well. So you wouldn't have filed taxes and be able to get the child tax credit. So I'm not sure if that's what this money is for, but I know there are like nuances to it.
After your question about the funding, would you like me to say, please further describe what this funding will go towards?
Please, yes. And if it's any different from what they're going to discuss when they do taxes.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Introductory 351, 352, construction grants, Rochester Public Library.
I have a question on 352. I'm just curious as to the plans, if we could see the plans and where the new entrance would be. And it talks about an entrance relocation.
So what are the plans for construction, and where will the new entrance be? And Councilmember Gruber did ask for a funding chart, so that will be included.
Is this the branch that's on Avenue D? Okay.
Anyone else?
It also references that it's eligible for up to 90% match. And I just want to confirm that are we going after that, or is that just, or where that is in this process?
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, introductory 353, a mandatory agreement, Computer Technologies USA LLC, DBA Blue Hill Data Services for mainframe technical and professional support.
I'd like to ask, does this include oversight for protection against ransomware?
Okay,
I'd like to ask, what is the plan to get off the mainframe completely?
one question that Gruber did submit is, I understand from our 21-22 budget hearing that there is significant work being done to upgrade our mainframe. How will this PSA be affected by the upgrade? Did you want a timeline of the plan to get off of the mainframe?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, introductory 354 agreement Flash Parking Incorporated for revenue control equipment at Genesee Crossroads Garage.
My question is, the $30,000, $29,940 is for how many equipment, and it's just a rental? So rental of how many equipment?
Okay. Any other questions? Introductory 373, amending ordinance 2021-100, purchase of McGuire Building. And this is a tweener. Do you need me to share? Okay, give me 1 second and I'll share my screen. Any questions? The purchase price is increasing to 515,000 from 425,000, and explains that this is because of a construction credit that the city needs to reflect for $90,000. No questions? Okay. Introductory, we're now in NBD, introductory 355, sale of real estate. Any questions? Okay. Introductory 356, lease agreement, 555 Avenue D, Lincoln Branch Library.
Just had one question. The space that we're leasing, will that be part of the renovations that are in 352? Will there be anything that we're doing there as well?
Joanne, do you remember if this was asked during the legislation review? I know they asked what happens if it's affected and the lease payments will be suspended, but I don't know if they actually confirmed whether or not.
Yeah, they didn't confirm that.
Okay, I will add it. Any other questions? Okay. PPW, introductory 357, change in the direction of traffic flow on Dunn Street. No questions? Introductories 358, 359, Genesee Street Reconstruction Project, Elmwood Avenue to Brooks Avenue.
I have a question. When was the last time that strip was done? For some reason, I thought that it was done recently. And will this narrow the traffic? Will this work narrow the road causing a more traffic calming upgrades to the area? Or should I say traffic calming design? Thank you.
Any other questions? Introductory 360 professional services agreement, greenhouse gas inventory upgrades, and heat emergency plan.
Yeah, my
I'm-
question.
Go
Go ahead,
ahead,
Councilmember Harris.
Go ahead, Councilman Lupian. I'm good.
My question is around, in the introductory, it says that the emergency plan will help mitigate the effects of climate change and prepare for impacts, creating a sustainable community and ready for continued growth and vibrancy. I guess I wanted more information on the last 2 points. What does that look like? I know in the climate resilience plan, we don't talk about, the pressure that increased population from climate refugees will have in our community. So wondering if this is going to include, plans for, transportation, housing, food systems, if that will be covered in the emergency plan.
Okay.
Other question is, will the inventories and the heat emergency plan be made public?
Councilmember Harris.
Councilmember Lupian pretty much covered it. If they could just provide a detailed description of the plan, I
Okay.
think that would suffice for me.
Any other questions?
Yes, can someone
Yeah,
just explain? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
I have a general question that actually one of you might be able to answer. What is a heat emergency plan? If not, add it to the list of questions, because I don't get it.
Joanne, do you have any insight?
I wish I could say yes, but I actually don't, because
I can add it. Was that your only question?
Yes, thank you.
Councilmember Melendez.
Okay, so I know that this specific part of it's going to be completed in 2024, but I guess for the climate action plan, I would like to, at some point soon, well, I guess the question is, can we get an update on the status of the climate action plan, either in writing or through a work session in the future?
Okay. I can tell you that for the work session, it would probably be a little bit down the road. So if you want, we could always ask for it in writing now and add that for early 2022.
That sounds good.
Do you say that because of the available dates left in the year, or just that administration won't be ready?
I say that because of the available dates. We can always add extra dates, but we've already done that a lot in October, and then we creep into a lot of holiday season.
Got it.
I don't know about how ready they will be. I will ask someone in DES. Any other questions? Introductory 361 South Avenue, Elmwood Ave to Bellevue Drive, and Elmwood Avenue, Mount Hope Ave to South Avenue Street Improvement Project. Any questions? Okay. Moving on to public safety, recreation, and human services. Introductory 362 amendment agreement, City of Rochester fire alerting system. I think that was backwards on my sheet. I assume it's an agreement amendment. Any questions? Introductory 363, agreement, Rise Up Rochester, wraparound services for crime victims.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, what will the contract include or cover? So is this staffing, supplies, relocation assistance? I mean, it could be a lot of different things, so it'd just be helpful to understand.
I was going to ask if we could see a proposed budget and break down how the funds will be spent. Kind of goes along with what you're saying.
Okay, I can add both. Any other questions? Introductory 364, agreement, Rock Sports LLC.
Question.
Mhm.
What fields do they use and maintain for softball specifically? And then second question, there appears to be a significant jump in terms of cost over time. And I just wanted to know the rationale behind it.
I know there's probably other fields, but they maintain the ones at Cobb's Hill.
Any other questions? Introductory 365, agreement, Carlton Wilcox Live rock music steam engine. Any questions? Introductory 366, agreement, Close Up Foundation, Mayor or Rochester Mayor's Youth Academy. Any questions?
Yeah, what does this money pay for? I don't know a more eloquent way to say it.
Got it. Anyone else? Introductory 367, agreement, ARIA Strategies LLC, Office of Neighborhood Safety Strategic Plan.
I'd like to ask, how will this support the Office of Neighborhood and Safety? I mean, it says here to work together, the co-production of public, I guess it's public safety and prevention of violence, basically strategies, but I'd like to know what is it that this will be doing, this company will be doing that the newly appointed person for that department won't be able to do. So that's, you know what I mean? What's the difference? Excuse me.
I was hoping we could get a copy of the RFP to get an understanding of what's being asked of ARIA Strategies. And I know Office of Neighborhood Safety is something that other cities have, and are we using, are we going off of any certain model, or are we kind of doing our own?
I could definitely add to that. Of course, include the question, but I will say the Newark, New Jersey model is definitely what we're looking at implementing a lot of their successes here in Rochester.
Thank you.
So the question on that, just Willie there, do we need to pay this company to tell us to do exactly what New Jersey is doing?
I think the question was, are we looking at other cities as modeling what they're doing? And so I'm saying that I know Newark, New Jersey, as well as Oakland and California are two that we just had that huge summit we had, violent prevention and summit that we just had. And these people were a part of that meeting. We've had a significant conversations with mayors from both. I think that the question is a good question to ask, so we can see what are they potentially bringing to the table as far as strategizing. I know, again, one of the challenges we have of looking at best practices in other communities, such as we did when the Cahoots program, when we did our pick team, we had to kind of bring in some consultants to kind of help us draft it. It's hard to take a program from one community and just plop it into your community. You actually have to kind of tailor it for your community. So I'm assuming now, it's just an assumption. Of course, I'm interested to get the answer back to the question, but I'm assuming that we're trying to tailor something, utilizing model, but also customizing it for the needs here of Rochester. So I assume that that is the premise behind this company. But I'm looking forward to seeing the RFP and also seeing, you know, some of the answers to some of the questions that have been asked.
So my next question then would be for the actual legislation. We're hiring a director of Office and Neighborhood Safety, right? Is that what we're looking to do?
We've hired a guy. Yeah.
So
we've already hired him.
Isn't this his job to develop this strategic master plan? Like, isn't this his job?
I think that was Councilmember Harris's question, or at least
Exactly.
Okay, sorry for stepping on your toes there.
Yeah, I think she asked that question, and I don't have his job description in front of me, so I don't know.
I think Vice President, his job is to implement it, but I believe this company is going to be going out into the neighborhood as well. They're going to do exactly what you said, look at other models, but they need to take a look at what will work here, and part of that will entail going to neighborhood groups and doing focus groups.
I believe in the transmittal, it's a local company, correct?
Yes.
It is.
Okay.
So my question is just, when do we anticipate the strategic planning will be completed?
Mitch asked that, so we have that down too. Anyone else? Okay. Introductory 368 intermunicipal agreement, Rochester City School District's utilization of pathways to peace. Any questions? Okay. Introductory 369 agreement, Monroe County Stop DWI grant. No questions? Okay. Introductory 370.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Katie. Can we ask how many DWI, how many
Tickets?
no, how many overtime details have we had in 2020 and 2019 by district?
For this, using this.
No,
Grant?
just in general. How many
Okay.
DWI stops, overtime stops details have we had in the city for the past 2 years by district?
Any other questions? Introductory 370, a mandatory agreement, U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Community Oriented Policing Services, Community Policing Development Micro Grant.
I am curious to know when they think that they'll be done with the project, because I know that we've extended this a few times. And what do they plan on doing with the data once it's available for analysis?
Any other questions? Okay. Introductory 371, grant agreement, New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, 2021 State Law Enforcement Terrorism Prevention Program grant.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The license plate reader, is that fixed at a street light or is that mobile on a police vehicle?
I wanted to know if we currently use license plate readers, and what policies exist around their use, and what instances would we use them for?
Okay.
I also want to know what they consider, what falls under terrorism, and when have funds been used for that purpose in Rochester?
Within the police department, or beyond the RPD? Like just our agencies?
E-
I
Right.
think that's probably all we could get.
Yes. Because these are being given to RPDs, so when have we used them? And then can we get a description of how the money will be used for the SWAT team? I think there was equipment upgrades. So what does that mean?
Anyone else?
Yes, one more. I would like to know do they have a robot specifically in mind?
Like what model?
Yes, please.
Anyone else? Okay. Introductory 372 agreement, University of Rochester Fitness for Duty Clinical Services. Any questions?
What circumstances are these services utilized, and are they mandatory or optional?
Anyone else? Okay. This is the first tweener, introductory 374 appropriation and budget amendment, American Rescue Plan Act, Peacemaker Fellowship. I can share it on my screen. Just give me one moment. So this is related to the Advanced Peace program that was approved recently.
So right now, these are the only items from the ARPA plan that are being presented to us.
Yes, Josanne, do you want to talk a little bit about that? I don't know if she is here still, but we have the 3 tweeners and that's all we have so far. If there are no questions on this one, and if you, I know Josanne and I talked, and if you look over this and have questions, let me know and I can add them to the document a little later than normal.
I have a question, sorry, and you're gonna hear my dog lapping up water here. So we're appropriating the receipt and use of 2.6 million from ARPA, but we've only allocated 353,800. So the remaining funding appropriated herein will be anticipated. So do we have any idea what we're looking to do with that $2.3 million? What are we looking to, what's our idea of
I think
what we're gonna use $5
that
million?
was the information you received yesterday. You should have gotten a booklet with it that sort of spelled it out. And transmittals will be coming over the next probably 2 to 3 months that explains some of, every transmittal will explain what they're doing with it.
So in that booklet, it says what the 353,000 is for.
Well, this transmittal, yeah, there's something that came with this. Did you get that? The peacemaking fellowship model? there was an attachment. I don't see it here, but it was brought up.
I don't have an attachment. We can see if we have it over in the clerk's office.
Okay, if not, I can make sure you get it.
We can double check, and if it is here, we'll make sure that you get it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
great, thanks.
Yeah, with this one, you know, I'm super supportive of the idea. I'm just very paying attention to what we decide to do with the staffing model. So if there's any information they could provide on the different options and price tags associated with that, and how we employ the staff that will work with the fellows of the program.
Katie and Hazel, I believe the attachment is there, at least the copy I'm looking at in email. If you just keep scrolling down.
It's 374, correct? I don't have an attachment on mine.
I'm sorry, I was looking at 375. My apologies.
No, you're good.
I'll make sure, I'll get you something.
Anyone else on 374? Okay. 1 second. 375 is the second tweener appropriation and budget amendment, American Rescue Plan Act, Adult Workforce Development.
I have a question. I'm definitely supportive of workforce development. Just sticker shock a little bit with this because I feel like we're duplicating services, and I'd just like to know, you know, what's the mindset of, and I had a brief conversation with Commissioner Torres about this, just still trying to wrap my mind about why should the city get involved with this level of workforce development.
This seems very exciting. I really appreciate the holistic nature of it, but I wonder if it would be helpful to have a work session on this, since it is such a huge undertaking, to kind of inform us on the different pieces. I know that we're a tight time frame, but is it possible to get a presentation on it?
I will add it.
I
Okay.
have a question. Have we reached out to the county sheriff to see if we can get his help with some of the funding as well? Or what kind of help can we get from the county sheriff in terms of the workforce development, people for the workforce development?
I see an attachment with 375. I don't see one with 374.
I'll talk to Danielle and see if they have something. But it's a question now anyway, correct, Katie?
Yeah. Anyone else on 375? Okay. Last one, 376, appropriation and budget amendment, American Rescue Plan Act, Young Adults Manufacturing Training Employment Program Incorporated. Any questions?
I have one question. I know that when we had some conversations with YAMTEP about their future direction, there was some thought that there might be some joint funding efforts. I just want to know if there's other sources of funding that are being leveraged as well as the ARPA funds. Like, do they receive funding from the county or any other major source of government?
And I guess my question is, you know, we have the MTEP and we also have the MAP program. And I've seen mention of supporting the MTEP a few times over the past couple of months, but wondering why we aren't also looking at supporting MAP since it's similar work in a similar space.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. If no one has any other questions, I think that's it.
I do, Katie. Just want to get clarification. Are you saying there's an attachment to 374 or 375? Because there's an attachment with 375.
Yeah, 375 has the attachment, and the question is in the agenda review questions for 374.
Okay.
So there wasn't supposed to be an attachment for 374, Josanne?
No.
Oh, okay. So we're just looking for a description of the Peacemaker Fellowship.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
All right. I don't think there's any other business for us to attend to this afternoon. Thank you all for your time, and you guys have a great evening.